Oh, hey Dave.
Hey man, we gonna watch a movie today?
Yeah, Dave. I've got it all picked out. I've got it all picked out.
I wouldn't even worry about it, because I brought the mummy.
Since the earliest days of movie making, the genre of the Lost World and its prehistoric denizens is one that always seems to die out, only to be rediscovered once again. From B-movies and cult films to modern blockbusters, we are the raiders of the lost genre.
Hey Dave,
Yeah,
you picked a movie for us today
yeah.
because it's October, at least when we're recording
As
this.
of recording.
Right. So we are watching The Mummy, which in fact has, amongst horror themes, it has a lost city. So we're in good territory.
Right, yeah. I know this kind of gets us in dicey situations, but it's Halloween, so we gotta let it go.
Right. Exactly. But no, I mean it fits the genre. It's like we've got a lost city, we've got lost treasure, we've got a quest, and we've got monsters.
We got a
So.
lost dude. I'm interested because I haven't. Full disclosure, I haven't seen this for probably 15 years,
Wow,
maybe
cool.
20. I'm interested to see how well, number one, the effects hold up, if the comedy holds up, and if Brendan Fraser is worth all the love he's been getting.
I feel like 2 out of 3 are probably going to be good all the time or almost all the time, and one of them is going to be dodgy at times. Because there's a lot of CG where you're just like, yeah, that's pretty CG.
Yeah, the one memory I can pull is the scarab going through the dude's body, and I think
Yeah.
even back then, I'm not sure if I was convinced by
Right.
that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's see what-
It's got its moments, but overall, I think we're in good spaces here.
Yeah. So
All right.
happy
Ready?
Sam Hain.
That. All right. Let's go.
The Mummy, Chapter 1. Turn the page at the sound of the chime.
15 years, huh? Wow.
I think the last time I saw it was on VHS.
Holy
Did
shit.
this make it to VHS?
In 1999, I wasn't yet quite the Karloff fanboy I am today, but it wouldn't have made a difference that the 90s remake was such a change in tone to me anyways. I was, however, a fan of Indiana Jones, classic adventures, and proper monster movies, so the release of Stephen Sommers' take on The Mummy definitely spoke to me. It didn't hurt that the 1992 Coppola version of Bram Stoker's Dracula had easily become one of my favorite films. That Universal was in fact remaking the 1932 horror film and it looked kick-ass was all that really mattered. Opening with a flashback of Egypt 3,000 years ago, we see the secret love affair of High Priest Imhotep and Anck-su-namun, the pharaoh's babe.
See, it's high def. Now you can see her nipple plates.
I'm a eunuch.
Totally don't want to bang her. God, I want to bang her.
Which ends in the murder of the old man. Anck-su-namun takes the heat and kills herself to allow Imhotep to escape and hopefully use his powers to resurrect her in Hamunaptra, City of the Dead.
Hamunaptra, City of the Dead, ancient burial site for the sons of pharaohs.
Instead, the pharaoh's bodyguards, the Magi, raid the party and mummify the retinue, subjecting Imhotep to the Homdai curse of being buried alive.
Please enjoy this complimentary bucket of scarabs, courtesy of the Luxor.
Cut to 1923, and a unit of the Foreign Legion have found Hamunaptra, but they're slaughtered in battle while the current Magi watch.
Oh, your strength gives me strength.
Rick O'Connell, Brendan Fraser, has a paranormal encounter with Imhotep's still-trapped powers, and then stumbles into the desert alone.
Oh, is my fly open?
Oh no, sandworms! Oh.
3 years later, he is rescued from prison by aspiring Egyptologist Evelyn Evie Carnahan.
OSHA violation coming in 3, 2.
And her drunken, thieving, but otherwise good-natured brother Jonathan.
It's only a priceless mummy you're fucking around with, you Irish.
Found something.
Oh, look, a plot device.
What
You
the?
found a MacGuffin.
Is this a pleasure cube?
We have such games to show you.
And if you look at the hieratic just here, well, it's Hamanaptra.
Cursed! Cursed!
Guys, listen, let me take this map off your hands and you can take this nice fresh monkey paw.
I know a little curio shop down in Cairo.
They strike a deal with Rick so that he'll lead them to the ancient lost city of the dead, despite the evil he sensed there.
You really want to know?
Then get me the hell out of here!
Traveling first by boat down the Nile, the expedition meets a group of treasure hunters also heading for Hamanaptra that's being led by Rick's former Legion bunkmate and all-around cowardly tool, Benny.
Take them out into the middle of the desert, and then you leave them to rot?
You always did have more balls than brains.
Punch him in the nuts.
The only thing that scares me, Mr. O'Connell, are your manners.
Still angry about that kiss, huh?
Oh, if you call that a kiss.
I was horny.
The boat is attacked by Magi, who know that Evie's group have a map and key of the lost city, and intend to keep the secret safe at any cost.
The map! I forgot the map!
Relax. I'm the map. It's all up here.
Oh, that's comforting.
Rounding up camels and horses for the remainder of the trip, both parties race to Hamanaptra and begin digging while the sparks fly between Rick and Evie.
We're about to be shown the way.
You know how deserts have, like, mirages and stuff?
No.
Well, oh, never mind.
Hamanaptra.
Here we go again.
She dropped in nitro.
Fortune and glory is predominantly on everyone's minds, though, even after hieroglyphs, booby traps, supernatural scarabs, and Magi attacks all warn of a curse.
But you must leave. Leave this place or die.
It's a leather teddy. It's 40 pounds, but it's incredible.
Oh my god, it's so sexy.
And then there was
That's not how that goes. And only one mirror got fucked up, by the way?
Yeah.
The rest of them totally
yeah.
fine.
Well, no, somebody was nice enough to turn the switch off.
The last dude leaving. Hey, did you flick the last mirror? And he's ah.
I gotta go back down.
There we go.
According to these hieroglyphics, we're underneath the statue.
Somewhere at the top of these legs should be the junk of Anubis.
Thank you.
You're doing a hell of a lot with that trowel, lady. I'm not trying to spackle the wall. What are you doing?
I don't know, I keep looking at her see-through dress. I might spackle the wall. No, I mean.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Evie's team finds Imhotep's black sarcophagus and gooey remains.
Likewise.
4.
See who's inside, shall we?
That's like the office manager's key. It goes everywhere.
You could call it a skeleton key. Cursed!
he's still
Juicy.
yes.
The milk chocolate center and the most disgusting candy bar ever.
He kind of is. He looks like a s'more.
Oh, hey, it's that book!
It does exist.
They do exist.
While Benny's clients find not only the Book of the Dead, but canopic jars from an Aksunamun's burial.
It's just a book. No harm ever came from reading a book.
When Evie reads passages from the book,
Sin mas ibet baya. Yatue, yatue, yatue.
it awakens Imhotep, still pissed, and still out to resurrect his GF, Anaksunamun. So the carnage begins.
Somebody hit an oil well.
Is this normal? I'm not from here.
What have we done?
Good job, Brendan. It's like if Indiana Jones turned around to whip the boulder.
Imhotep decides that Evie will be the sacrifice for Anck-su-namun's resurrection, and that the Americans, who have the treasured canopic jars, will feed his cursed powers. So Benny falls in line and leads his new master with these goals in mind.
What did you do to him? We saved him.
And 15% by switching him to Geico.
This creature is the bringer of death. You'll never eat. You'll never sleep.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. And it absolutely will not stop, ever, until you are dead.
Imhotep follows the groups to Cairo and starts sucking the life force out of the Yanks while trying to abduct Evie.
Prince Imhotep thanks you for your hospitality. And for your eyes. And for your tongue.
And now he needs your balls.
As the mummy's powers grow, the 10 plagues of Egypt follow him and literally rain down on the city.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
So everyone left teams up with the Magi and realize that only the Golden Book of Amun-Ra can stop the creature. And that's back in Hymenoptera somewhere. Rick keeps shooting the 3,000-year-old undead guy, but never seems to take the hint that bullets don't work.
Bowling for bozos.
Mummy repellent.
Instant.
Or does he not like pianos? We never get confirmation.
Too late, Imhotep uses his powers to regenerate himself and control an army of zombified followers, then takes Evie and heads for home.
I want to get that looked at.
Just the rose garden.
Now I can take a nice long... That's better than Cadwell's mustache.
Pussy.
Why
Works
not?
every time.
Why not? Oh shit, yeah, the Imhotep convention was today.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about
Luckily we got our rooms booked.
Thank you.
Guys, this isn't a train in India. You have to get off.
Rick, Jonathan, and Magi hunk Ardeth Bay get aging pilot Winston to fly them to the Lost City.
How you doing? See that? I've never seen one so big.
What I have seen, though, is a lot of people confusing me with Rip Taylor. Anyway.
Oh, look, it's my party.
Haven't seen one of those before, and he's throwing glitter.
But Imhotep's powers knock the biplane out of the sky.
I love the whole sand wall trick. It was beautiful. You bastard.
You mean I don't make it to the end?
What if you're an Arabian John Waters?
By the time our heroes have dusted off and hot-footed it the rest of the way, Imhotep has dug up the past, a lot of it.
I guess I'll just dick around with some more bugs, because I don't learn. Ah,
Every time.
are they Nerf darts?
Come and have a look at this.
He's set to animate the remains of Anck-su-namun, has Evie tied down and set for sacrifice, and wakes an army of mummies to fend off Rick and the boys.
Somewhere amongst all that is Nicolas Cage.
Fortunately, they've found the Book of Amun-Ra and just need to simply procure the key to open it from the undead master of 10 plagues. No worries.
A bronze sword is not cutting through iron chain.
It can in the script.
Mummies.
Oh yeah, damn it!
That's irony. 3,000 years later, she had 10 minutes before you saw the exact same scene over again.
Rick shoots, dynamites, and hacks his way through hordes of dusty guards to get to Evelyn. Jonathan does right and steals the key off of Imhotep.
Ooh, disarmed him.
How alarming.
And Evie reads the right passage to send the mummy's soul to the underworld.
Paradus! Paradus!
Rick finally gets to stab Imhotep, and the gang all escape as the city sinks into the desert.
Dun 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 dun.
Taking the curse, about $1 trillion in gold, and poor Benny with it.
Where are your jets now, Benny?
I don't know if
that
I'm
shot
going
makes
to
me
make it.
so claustrophobic every time.
Yeah.
At least the schmuck had already loaded up the camels with treasure before he died.
Music's not the only thing swelling right now, you know what I mean?
The budget of this movie.
A rousing adventure from start to finish, the 1999 Mummy replaces the foreboding atmosphere and dark drama of the 1932 Karl Freund original with romance, horror, action, and humor.
Camel's got balls of steel and humps of iron.
After spending years in development hell and being passed from the likes of Clive Barker, Joe Dante, and George A. Romero, finally to relative newcomer Stephen Sommers, the movie at last got a decent budget and a green light, which was fortunate as the floundering Universal needed a hit. They got one that spawned a franchise of sequels, spin-offs, theme park rides, cartoons, and toys. It also helped make stars of Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, and Oded Fehr.
I like this is his like Army of Darkness moment.
And even though they're all CGI, he's like pretty legit about everything.
Oh yeah.
Both old-fashioned and newfangled, this mummy came as a fast mover thanks to ILM visual effects, and Arnold Vosloo's smirking turn as the heavy. It also had a smart, strong heroine that looked great as the occasional damsel and love interest of smart-assed action man Rick, played by Fraser. While Karloff's shambling creature has become iconic, the 1999 remake still holds the title as the best popcorn version by far.
Okay, what did I say? Oh, 1999.
99. Still. I mean, what? Jurassic Park's 93?
94.
Yeah.
First of all, let's just jump right in and say, like, or I'll say, this was way better than I remember it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Full disclosure, when we sat down to watch this, I was like, oh no. Because I had memories of being like, is this a good movie? And I was like, oh God, what if it isn't? Because to me, maybe it was the sequels that also ruined it a little.
Well, definitely the second one is bigger and therefore cheesier. It has good stuff, it has bad stuff, it has really cheesy stuff.
Yeah.
But it does at least try to build on it, and then you have this moment where The Rock comes out as a CG half-scorpion, and whatever cloud it had up until that point, Gonzo. Right, but
this kind of walks that line, because there are points in it where, like, because, I mean, let's be upfront and honest about everything that is good about it. Almost everything.
Yeah. It's adventure, it's horror, it's like, hey, how do we set it back in the time period-ish of the Boris Karloff classic, but do it different? And it's like, oh, well, so again, I mean, it's like Wynorski. It's like throw in Indiana Jones in the pot, throw this in the pot, just keep chucking it into the pot.
The one thing I was afraid of, though, it wouldn't hold up because of the antiquated views on XYZ. Because, like, let's say the original Mummy in the 30s, it's chock full of racism and sexism and all that other stuff. It's new millennium almost, modern PC will have, everybody up your ass, but it's in the 20s. And I think they skirted everything that they needed to that would be problematic perfectly.
Yeah. It does a really good job of throwing a lot of things at you and making an adventure film out of a horror genre.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of fun and cool. It keeps on trying to do interesting things visually. I mean, it always is visually so pretty to look at. I want to say Brendan Fraser by this point will have done. I mean, he's definitely done Encino Man by this point.
Yeah.
But he's probably done like. Have you ever seen Of Gods and Monsters?
No.
Yeah. It's kind of a biopic on James Whale, the director of. He definitely did Frankenstein.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really good. And Fraser, like, that was the movie where it was like, oh, by the way, he has acting chops too. He's not just the funny, pretty guy.
And here, it's all on display. Like, he's funny when he needs to be, he's serious when he needs to be. It's everything we need. Like, in other bad movies.
He's a huge reason why the movie was a hit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But, like, the pacing is perfect, too, because we have a huge cast. Maybe not huge, but it's widowed in. Yeah.
So how did you feel about the CGI visuals after all this time?
Woof.
I don't know. I feel like it's a mixed bag. It holds up for the most part. You have moments that feel definitely dated.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking of that moment where he puts up that whole sand wall in. So he's like, here's this acting. This is you getting paid to stand in the middle of the desert in front of a camera crew and go.
Right.
No special lighting, no special wind, no nothing.
That hit me so hard. The exact moment you're talking about. Yes. When you're seeing Brendan and company being chased by the sand wall, which the effect itself is fine because it's so big. It's fine. Yeah. You just say it's fine.
He's putting his powers out there, so why would it start?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even though it was like, what? It didn't bump me in a way that I was like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because there are some times when the effects are on point, like they're great. Even if you don't update the CG, it still holds up because nothing is there big enough to buck you.
It's interesting and works because it at least is trying to do things in a fantasy realm. It's taking that page from the Harryhausen book that says, well, okay, no, you're not going to make it look perfect, but you can make it look interesting. So how do we do that? Well, we make him, you can see through him because he's missing organs and shit. So it's like as he turns, you have a three-dimensional picture that you can see through in bits and bobs. So again, the point is even though it's not perfect CG, it is interesting to look at as a creature.
What would have happened here with one of our regular B movies if the special effects are riding that line will make it a break of the characters. And since everything, the writing, the characters, everything is solid as rock, even if the mummy showed up and looked like, let's say, Tony the Tiger, like he was a cartoon, not CGI. Like, let's say he's like a Boo Berry type or like a whatever, off a cereal box.
Yeah.
I don't even think that would be enough.
To do what?
To bump me out of this movie.
Oh, yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I can say that having seen like I've seen the Roger Corman version of the Fantastic Four. From what I just said, I'm gonna flip that on its ear again. Have you ever seen Forbidden Planet?
It's been a while.
The original Robbie the Robot science fiction movie that Star Trek is based on, and so on. When you see the id monster, the only time that you can see the id monster is when it is being shot by lasers being fired, and all of the lasers and the id monster and the electro fence, the like atomic fence that they have, that are lighting this creature up so that you can see it for a moment, is all done by Disney animation. And it fucking works! It's scary, it's interesting, it's weird. Yeah, it does work. So, okay, I take it back. The movie is good enough to hold up, even if the effects have been lessened.
Yeah, all the things that should piss you off that are in every other movie don't.
Yeah.
Benny should piss me off. He doesn't, because he's essentially the annoying kid character in every other movie.
Yeah, and he never gets a chance to... I shouldn't say never. He rarely becomes an annoyance, except when he's going to be so annoying that he's going to get his butt kicked again. Yeah. So it's like you always get a payoff. It's like this movie is constantly giving you little payoffs. All right, so unless you have anything else to add, I will go. How many sheep do you give the 1999 version of The Mummy?
To keep it, I was gonna say 8, but to keep it with the level of the 9s, keeping it to the 9s, if you will, I'll make it a 9.
All right.
Wow. 999, it is a 9. It's not a perfect movie, like I said. All the unintentional comedy, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There are so few flaws, but just enough to drop it one whole letter grade.
All right.
So I'm going to say 9 sheep.
All right, 9 sheep for Dave. I'm going to go ahead and say 10, but it is admittedly a bias because it is comfort food movie at this point. All right, so I'd say that about wraps it up. The last thing I'll ask you is your chest okay? Are you all right, man?
It's a little tight still, but I think I'll be okay.
Yeah?
But I think you were right when you said that's a wrap.
It's a play on words.
That's a wrap.
Oh, thank you.
There's something out there. What's something underneath that sand?